Jakey, how you going, man?
Hey boy, how are you?
Good, mate. Good to have you on, man.
Mate, it's good to be on a podcast. It's been a minute actually. Shout out to my old podcast partner, Drainer. I don't know where he's at. If you see him, tell him we're going to do a podcast.
Might be hanging out with Dave at the pub or something.
Hey, he might be. I highly doubt that though. After the recent altercations between the two of them.
Yeah. Just bring your mic around, Mike.
These ones?
Yeah. That should be enough.
Too easy.
Yeah.
You got a nice setup here, man. I will give you the props straight off the bat.
I wish I had a little man cave.
Yeah.
That I could just set it up in, leave it, walk away, come back to it next week. But the amount of shit I got to move around because of kids and stuff, with stuff all over the kitchen table and trying to open her up, it's.
Now we'll have to.
One
day. me and Drain will definitely have to get onto our sponsors because, mate, these microphones and stuff.
There was a little bit of expense.
Yeah.
But it's all for a good cause, man.
Yeah. Hey, what do we got? 4 weeks to go, eh?
4 weeks. It's crazy, isn't it?
Not long.
It's disappearing quick.
Mate, it's gone so quick. I remember we were sitting at this very table doing the draft.
Yep.
And you got the big board up there
still? Yeah, big board's still
making
sitting
an
there.
appearance.
One day it might disappear. I don't know how much Kel loves it.
Yeah, fair enough.
She stuck another bird in there anyway, so.
Oh, there you go. Well.
Yeah. Right in front of the board. I think she's trying to hide
it. What's on the agenda, mate? What do we got?
I figure we might as well go through last week's games first.
Go through last week's, yeah.
Yep. So go over the results.
What are we going to go through first?
So, first game was All Americans and Staten Island Stablemans.
That might have been game of the week, was it?
I'd say it was, mate. Just looking at the scores, it would have had to have been.
I know there was a bit of premature talking, which I always get to comment out of the old boy from yourself. And then Jamar Chase, I saw, ended with 35.
Oh, so when I said something, he
just caught
two targets.
He caught the catch.
2 targets, 2 catches for about 12 yards.
So you know where that generated from though? Me always going like, when I kept saying good win to everyone.
Oh yeah.
I just started doing it because you started winning. It actually works. So. I mean,
there's no reason for it.
Yeah, I know. It's just funny, and then it just, it's just even funnier that it was working. But you sat Noah Brown.
Yeah. So I'd been sitting there looking at Drake London all week.
Yeah.
And he had an injury designation.
He's a tough player though.
He is. I thought it actually might be a better player than what it was, but. I probably won't sit Noah Brown now.
I don't think you can now that Stroud's doing. Oh, he's been doing it for a while now. Yep. But I mean,
and Noah Brown's only 2-3 weeks back from injury, and he's had 150 yards receiving on 2 of them.
Yeah, and they're showing no signs at all of slowing down. Like they love to throw, so I think Noah Brown's going to be a plug and play for you. I don't know what your QB situation is now. Did you play 2 this week?
Yeah, if you can call playing Tyson Badgett playing 2.
Yeah, again, there you go. He's probably comes in for Badgett.
I think Fields could be back this week. There's a fair bit of chatter around that he might be right to go. But Watson got hurt again last week. So, he cops a lot of shit, Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that hate Deshaun Watson for reasons, obviously.
Obvious reasons, yeah. But, he actually is pretty productive.
He didn't throw an incompletion in the second half the other day.
Yeah.
He was 14 for 14.
I know,
and a lot of people want to tip the Ravens in Super Bowl, not contenders, champs.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty big win for Cleveland there.
Yeah, it's an early crown. I think Baltimore's tough, but you're right. Cleveland's defense, you can't.
I have been spruiking Cleveland a fair bit all season.
Are they playing this week, or did they play last week?
Cleveland.
No, Baltimore, Cleveland.
That was last weekend.
That was last week. Yeah.
So they were down 14, I think it was in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And come back to win it. That's a pretty big win.
Yeah.
Somebody try to.
Hey, there you go. Special guest appearance.
Well, Harper was the one that reckoned she wanted to do it, so she disappeared straight to her room. So
yeah.
How did we get to there? But look, I was honestly, from a fantasy standpoint and from this game, Well, it was unlucky for either one of us to lose. We both had pretty good scores.
Yeah.
I mean, you're pushing that 450 area. You sort of hope you're going to come out with a.
Yeah, I think, look, the benchmark's been set. You probably got to be safe to get that second win. I think 400 plus you're looking at nowadays.
Yeah, we both, what?
You're 430,
457.96 for me and 444.25 for Davo. So
good scores.
He's unlucky to lose there. Especially when you look at a couple of other results.
Yeah, and after we go through this, we'll get into my little segment of top six, top contenders. But yeah, we'll just roll through them.
For sure. So yeah, happy to finally get some production back. It's been a pretty lean month of fantasy football for me. It was brutal, actually.
Mate, it was a much needed time for you to get 2 wins on the board.
I had to get it.
You had to get it. Yep. Yeah, and I mean, it's not all doom and gloom for Dave either, because he's still got to win.
Well, I think we're on equal records.
You are.
Yeah. So.
And we'll talk about that later. But if you just get one more win for pretty much, because there's 4 weeks left. And you're all on 8. That's close to
I think anyone on 8 wins right now. No, we'll
go through it later.
Yeah. Well, I don't think anyone saw this result coming. Maybe the win, but not necessarily the way it happened. Providence Steamrollers up against the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah. No one can predict what happened to Spirit's team this week. I think Providence, I'll talk about Providence and the boys. Shout out to Ken and Wayne too for the season you guys are having. They should be getting half wins, I reckon, for the 2 owners, 2 minds, 0.5 wins.
In all honesty, I think it's more of a Kenneth-driven team.
Okay.
So
good on you, Wayner.
Thanks. A bit like the chat.
Can you keep it down in that chat, mate? Or you're buzzing all the time. No, but definitely, I think Spirit's team was due for a bad week. He's been humming along. I know he's been humming along nicely, so it was only a matter of time. And he's probably happy that the boys did it now rather than 4 weeks, 5 weeks from now.
Yeah.
But the Providence now, I think on paper right now, when you submit a lineup, I think they got the strongest potential points.
The top half of their roster is brutal, man.
Unreal. But if they have, I reckon, 2 injuries, they go to then like the 7th worst. They're the worst then. They got no depth.
No, there's not a lot sitting behind them. But I mean, while you're rolling out Mahomes,
exactly. There's
McCaffrey and
90
Kelsey.
Points there again. Yeah.
I mean, every week McCaffrey lines up for 30 odd, and he's been nuts.
Yeah.
And even through the injury, he's still been pretty productive. So.
I agree, but yeah.
Big win for him. I actually tipped Spirit to win that game last week. So. Because that game there was actually the Kansas City Boys, so they didn't have Mahomes or Kelsey last week.
I did notice
still
that.
Threw up 460 points.
I actually think they're the scariest team.
Oh, you don't want to play them.
You don't want to play them.
And if you
I got fortunate enough to play them when they did.
When they had an
off week. Yeah, so I wouldn't want to see them coming in the playoffs.
Yeah. Mate, I'll be happy just to get to the playoffs and play anybody, to be honest.
Yeah.
So.
You just got to get to the dance, mate.
That's it. Next one. Yours, Bulldogs up against the Pros.
The historical Potty Boys.
Yeah, what happened to that podcast?
Oh, mate. I don't know. Let me know when you find it. Look, Drano, pretty funny, actually. Like, how funny was that? Because I know how he is, and he is literally whinging that we've jinxed him, he reckons. Because I'm going to continue to say, Drano, you've got the best team, mate.
Well,
come on, Drano.
You know what? You were next in line.
Yeah. He's trying to do it to me.
Is he?
Yeah, he saw it on the chat. His team, actually, now, I'll give him credit. I mean, he's been scoring and that, but I looked at it again, and he's going to be dirty about this, but I don't think it's that strong. Like, seriously.
Well, you've heard my comments.
Yeah, I know. And, and
I'm not trying to be nasty and saying it. I'm not trying to be a dick. I just don't think he's got that strong of a team. It's just scored amazingly well.
He's had a lot of guys overachieve.
Yeah.
Like I think he said earlier.
Yeah, well, and then that's all I've heard about in the chat.
But then, honestly,
overachievers.
Ever since you've said it, he's actually gone down the last 2 weeks. So I don't want to point fingers, but
Joey, I'm sorry, man. I'm not trying to bag the piss out of you. But
you know what? Like,
in all honesty,
the worst thing, he's going to be in the top 6.
You throw enough shit at me, I just decided it was time for me to throw some back.
He's a bit of a bully, I heard.
Yeah, well, look what happened.
Yeah.
chased one of our oldest owners out of the chat.
Yeah.
Nasty bastard.
Nasty fella.
Anyway, Jakey, top score.
Yeah, I was happy about it.
You are rolling along pretty good over the last, I want to say 5 weeks.
I think
probably 6
I'd
weeks.
Even go 6 because it goes by. I saw the win streak. I've had 6 straight.
Yeah, actually, I did that. That was the thing I did last week, wasn't it? Where you were.
I think I've gone 12-0. Like I've been humming along.
I think so. Yeah.
My team,
it didn't start well.
It didn't start well, but even now, I had Thibodeau get a 0 this week.
You're getting
and I
wins.
still got that score.
Yeah.
I'm getting my secondary because I've changed it up to a 4 safety plug and play.
Yeah.
My secondary, they all got over 30, so that's 120 there. CBs are getting 40. I don't expect them to keep those numbers up.
No.
So
I think I might have made some trades there that I shouldn't have done. I think that last trade I did with Dave was pretty lopsided the other way. Kyle Hamilton's put up, I think, 260 burgers since I've traded him.
And you know what? He's the type of player, he's a Bynum as well. In any other league, they're like, you know what? You'd want your Derwin Jameses.
He's a really good player on the field.
But he's a big play guy.
But
that's what you need.
Yeah,
I had Byron Murphy, man. Byron Murphy, to put it in.
He was actually a target of mine early in the season. Going into the draft.
I played him. He had, what did he have? He had not much. He had maybe 20 points, solid game. Last 3 minutes of the game, he got an intercept, which counts as 14
points.
And then he got a pass deflection that last play of the game. He got 21.
Yep.
Bumped him up to 42.
Yep.
And I'm like, you get a couple guys like that, and
100%.
you can't compete. You'd have to almost get, if you've got a tackling linebacker, that's an every down linebacker, they got to get 15 tackles.
I think Paddy brought it up last week. He asked, what do I think the best combination of defense is? Consistency is probably still linebacker because they'll generally put up that 20, 25, maybe 30 points a week. But
the good ones, yeah.
See what I mean?
What happened there?
Just occasionally it goes white for some reason. I don't know.
Getting hacked in by the NFL scouts.
It's probably my doppelganger that was hacking me on Facebook today.
Yeah.
But the prospect of big points that you can get out of both safety and defensive end make both very attractive for play. The problem is the floor can be quite low. You can get screwed over by a safety scoring 5 to 10 points. And you can get screwed over by a defensive end scoring zeros.
Definitely. I think, if you're going to run off that sort of thinking and strategy, you've got to be prepared to have low scores. Yeah, because you will blow up the roof and have 500. If you have 3 DEs that hit, I think Robbie's kind of got that roster actually off the top of my head. He's got a lot of guys that can score, but then they seem to
iced off badly.
Yeah. And that's the hit and miss kind of guys that he's got. But I think I actually would go the other way. I'd say safeties, man.
Yeah, I remember your old man saying to me pre-draft. This was ages ago. What do I think has had the most improvement points wise between tight end and safety? And I said, look, tight end has had a lot thrown at it.
Tight end's good. Actually, I'd be even more scared that Kelsey's being quiet, so the boys are going to be on when he comes back.
Imagine that, the playoffs. But I felt like I docked it up safety enough to a point where it was a very startable asset on defense, and if you had to start 4, you're in pretty good shape anyway. So, yeah.
That's what I've gone with this year.
Yeah, I've bounced around. I've tried everything. So I've had a lot of injuries where I've had to try and move shit around to even put a lineup in.
That's the thing, man. Injuries.
I didn't have a choice on defense last week. Pretty much all I had was what was healthy or not on a bye.
Yeah, I've had a few injuries, but the thing is that depth is important. Yeah. You've got to have depth across the board.
Yep. Yeah, well, see, Ernest Jones was on a bye, I think, last week, but he's missed a couple. Divine Diablo's missed freaking chunks of the season. So.
And while we're talking about depth, I know it's a hot topic with a couple owners in the league. The old boys always just get raving on about his bench points, and I just want to put my little statistic
I
on that.
got a little one for you there.
Yeah, he's got a lot of depth at quarterback. You notice he's getting like 40 points out of Howell, and then he gets 30 out of Dobbs. That's where all his bench points are going. Yep. Now, hats off to you, old boy, that you are getting bench points, but you're getting the wrong bench points.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a bit of a mirage what's happening there. He's
just shout out on that. I've actually got the most bench points ahead of him. I've got more bench points.
I haven't even looked, to be honest.
I just wanted to throw that in there.
I knew he was going to have high bench points because he's got all those quarterbacks sitting there. The problem is you can only start 2 of them, and Trevor's getting hard to start.
Well, we'll go into that when I talk about him because he started with a strategy this year, and I don't know if it's going to pay off for him, but I'll get into that later.
Anyway, congrats on the win, mate.
Thank you.
Joey just scraped in to grab a win.
Yeah, I'll talk about that too because, man, it hurt someone.
Well, Profke.
Yeah, it hurt Green Bay. He lost by what? Not much.
No, that wasn't Profke. That was Jared.
Oh, it was Jared.
Yeah, it was Jared. Profke had a shocker.
He had a shocker.
But he got a win.
Right, yeah. That's right. Yeah.
No.
It had Rainsford. Well, that didn't matter then.
No, Reigns. It would have been nice to see Rainsford pull a 2-0.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty rough season for him. So.
Yeah, I suppose.
And cheers for fixing the aircon, mate.
Oh, good on you, mate.
All right. The aforementioned Jared. Eagles against the Dolphins. It was a blowout. I actually tipped Jared to pinch his first win for the season last week. It wasn't a pinch. It was a slaughter.
Yeah. Another tough one. Like, no one's got a bad roster. No. And on their day, they can score.
You can lose to anyone on any.
It just comes down to consistency.
Yep.
Bye weeks come in injury. You got to have the depth.
That was Robbie's biggest problem last week. The Eagles were on a bye, and Robbie has a lot of Eagles, so. Yep.
That's why, if his luck keeps going, well, their luck keeps going. Providence is going to be tough, but if they get a few injuries, I just think they drop.
Hard to say, man.
They're the best team right now.
You can't predict injuries.
Joey, shout out to Joey. The Providence is the best team right now.
All hail the king, Joey.
Clean Joey. He's been dropped. He's been demoted. I'm saying the Providence are a joint king. They're tough.
Yeah, man. Well done, Jared. Very, very much deserved win, man.
Yeah, good on you, man.
Yeah, it was.
You're still looking like that clown suit's going to be well fitted.
Yeah, well, if it's going to the team going with the team with the worst record, he still needs a lot to go right to get out of that. So yeah. And Robbie puts up his worst score of the season, I'm pretty sure. A lot of buys.
Robbie is like the wild card team for me. You don't want to verse him certain weeks, and then some weeks you're like, yeah, that's good that I'm versing Robbie.
Although he's made some moves that have thinned out the defense a bit, so
yeah.
He traded Petrie.
But Petrie just got a 0, man, and he played every down. So I don't know how do you get a 0 for Petrie? I knew he'd drop off this year, but not this bad.
Yeah, I didn't want him.
I didn't want him, eh? No, I didn't want him either.
I didn't want him, and you know what?
I know you said Brisker, but mate, Brisker's killing it.
I hate Brisker.
Yeah, but he's getting points.
Can't play.
Fantasy football.
Yeah, I know. He's lucky. Actually, I'll tell you what. Outside of getting absolutely roasted on a pass there last week, he actually probably played his best game I've seen him play this season. But
notice he plays better with Eddie Jackson there.
He's way better with Jackson.
He doesn't have to go back there.
You know what the problem is? I don't think he's got the brain to think.
No, he can play down in the box a bit more. Yeah. What do we got? Who's the last one?
Last one was the Packers and Bears, the storied ancient old rivalry in the NFL.
The self-proclaimed potty boys.
The other podcast. The other podcast that'll probably never do one.
Look.
This is an absolute.
Did you tip this one?
Screamer of a game. I did pick Paddy to have the win, I think. Yeah. 361.24 against 321.85. It was
yeah.
It was probably much like a real life Packers Bears game these days, actually.
Yeah. I mean, so you see 361, 321. See, I know now this is what I was talking about. So you've got obviously Trevor Lawrence having one of his worst years ever. You wouldn't pick it. And I mean, how do you bench him? Because the one week you do bench him, he gets 30. But the only thing is you bench him when you got Howell, who's throwing whatever he's throwing every week, getting 40 points.
Here's the problem. Howell's got the other version in him too. he had one of those games earlier on where he.
Yeah, well, if you're going
I don't know if he got minuses, but it was damn close to minuses.
If you're going off consistency, then Dobbs, I don't think, has had a game under 20.
No,
he might have.
He might have. Yeah, he might have earlier. I can't remember.
But I mean, look, Trevor Lawrence, it's a tough one because the old boy can't beat himself up too much because it's tough to pull Trevor Lawrence when he's got the guys he's got.
That he's been starting.
He's been playing Jared Goff, I think.
Oh, Jared Goff, yeah.
You can't pull him either.
No, you can't bench him. But I think he's had a couple of quiet games.
He has. And if you want to talk about overperforming, I mean, his team's underperformed. Like, he's actually got really good guys.
The old boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he's got.
He's a better team than what he's put up.
Yeah.
But he's probably got a better record than what he's put up too.
It's close, yeah. Because I was looking at that. When I was doing
I think points wise, he's the worst in the league now.
Yeah, he probably is actually.
Yeah.
His bench points I hear are second highest.
Yeah, he's got about 1 million points out of quarterbacks.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was the strategy he went with to the draft, and that's fair enough because people went one way. He decided I'm going to lock in these quarterbacks, but no one's trading with him now. If he can pull off,
it's been a very quiet trade league, I reckon.
Yeah, it has been.
Yeah.
There's some trade winds swirling in the background with it.
Would you know anything about them or
with the owner we're talking about and with the position we're talking about? Because there's a certain owner looking at the playoffs thinking, I wouldn't mind one of them QBs, and if I can get him some, help, win-win.
I
see how that goes.
From my perspective, I'm done. I'm not trading anyone to anyone now. I just rock and roll with what I got. I feel like I've already hurt my team enough with some trades I've done.
Freiermuth or something?
Fuck Freiermuth.
I'll take Witherspoon.
With the clown that's throwing Freiermuth the ball.
Well, he's not even playing, yeah. Mate, I got him if you want him. That was an early draft pick for me. That was a full bust.
He has been awful.
Yep.
I think Ritter might actually have his job back now, has he?
Only because Heineke's injured.
Is that what happened? He got hurt? Yeah. I didn't actually see what happened.
Yeah, he got injured.
Congratulations to Arthur Smith. He worked out who Bijan Robinson was, and he actually gave him the ball last week.
Mate, he actually had him on a punt return. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
No, so the funniest thing is when you were talking about Arthur Smith, I was like, Pete is working for the Falcons. So he's gone back to return a punt and after getting all these touches, and I said, that'll get him another touch. Like, mate, he's getting the ball to Bijan. So I don't know who you got sway with there. Maybe these people that sponsor these podcasts.
Well, before that, he'd had one game where he had more than 15 touches. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's a waste of talent.
Yep.
And honestly, like a lot of guys in startup leagues and rookie draft leagues, like that, he was a first round pick.
Very high pick.
So it was a bit of a bust. But now, let's see how he goes.
I don't think he'll be a bust, but
not a bust, but I don't think no one thought he wouldn't get the balls on the goal line. Like if you looked at the breakdown of the goal line carries,
was it 2? Yeah,
2 to Algiers, like whatever that was.
Desmond Ritter's had more fucking goal line carries. Johnny Smith had more.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a bit
stunning,
bit weird, but so pretty good week. And now we're at the stage now, Petey boy, where every week is crucial.
Yep.
You've got to pretty much.
Waivers probably just went through too. I don't know if you looked at that.
I didn't even do them. No, did I get Witherspoon? Is he still available?
No, mate. No, I got him back.
Yeah, I saw that. Who came through? This is live waivers. This is the first time.
Yeah, we haven't done this. We haven't been this late.
Yeah, I was just flat chat, mate. I was busy. But while we're looking at the waivers, mate, I want to go through my little segments called Top 6 Contenders. Now, obviously, we know the top 6 is the contenders for the Titanic Bowl.
Yep.
Sorry, Titan Bowl.
The Titanic.
Titanic's the bottom 4. Yeah. So we've got the Titan Bowl. Now, as it stands, I'm going to give you a number. I'm going to call this one the magic number, Petey.
Yep.
And this is what I think. If you want to be in the top 6, contending for a Titan Bowl, you got to get to, and that is 14 wins. Now, luckily for 4 owners in the league, they're actually already there, and that's Providence at 15, myself at 15, Akron at 14, and Spiro Saints at 14. So I'm thinking those guys are locked in the top spot, even if they lost the rest of the week.
What's the next best record in Spirits Division?
Spirits Division. I think it's it must
It'll be either
8.
Paddy or Robbie.
It's Green Bay and Robbie tied.
Both at 8 wins.
Both
So
at 8
he's got a
wins.
6-game lead already. Yeah, he's already won the division, man.
So he's got a first round bye, you reckon? I'd have to agree.
Yeah, he's already won that division.
Because then I'll go into the next little pool. Now this pool is a team of there's 4 teams that are on 8 and 1 on 7. So I'm going to include the old boy because I still think he's a chance.
Oh, of course he is.
There's potentially 8 wins on the board. I'm thinking if you get for those 8 owners, there's going to be someone that wins 6 and 2. So they're going to get to 14.
I don't think so.
I think they have to.
I don't think they do. I honestly don't think. Well, obviously, I haven't looked at the schedule to confirm this, but I just don't. I don't think they get to 14. I don't think any of them get to 14.
What do you think's the magic number?
I think 12. I think 12 to 13 wins will get you in the playoffs.
Yep, get you 6. Yeah, definitely. Well, you only need to get 6, eh? So, so Green Bay State, yourself, Davo, Robbie, old boy.
Going to be a dogfight.
Going to be a dogfight. Now, obviously, I haven't looked at the schedule either, but you guys are going to be playing heads up certain weeks.
I know I finish up against the old boy.
That could be for a playoff spot.
It could be, yeah. I'm fairly certain week 14 is me and him. But I've probably still got to play pretty much our division again, which is brutal.
I was going to say, our division's insane. Like, actually, to be honest, if you start turning one on and winning, and so does Davo's in our division.
Yeah, Davis, yeah.
Mate, you guys, it could be all 5 of us and one from the other division.
Dave's copped a lot of shit, but his team's actually
good.
His team's been scoring pretty well.
It has been
the last month.
Shout out to Davo, mate. You're doing well. So, like you said, you two, it'd be funny as a Fast 5 made it. It would be. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't know
if it can happen.
I think it'll be 4 and 2.
Yeah.
Which means Robbie and old boy. One of them's going to sneak in. I think it's
Or Paddy.
Actually, Paddy, touch on Paddy's team, mate. He has killed it as well this year. Unfortunately for him, I think he should have had about 2 or 3 more wins based off.
Oh yeah, he blew some wins earlier in the season.
He's another team I wouldn't want to be playing.
Well, Jefferson will be back in the next 2 weeks, probably. I reckon.
I'd say 2 weeks.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be this. Well, I don't think there's any chance of it being this week.
It won't be this week, but I reckon it'll be next. Yeah.
Maybe 2 to 3 weeks. Who knows?
Yeah.
I actually no. I don't reckon he will. I'll take that back. I reckon if he comes back, it'll be week 14. Last week of our regular season, because the Vikes have a bye in week 13. And I don't think they bring him back before the bye.
Give him another week, why not?
That doesn't help Pat. It doesn't help Pat much, but
if he gets him for the playoffs, that's scary.
He's been scoring pretty well.
Yeah.
Away from that, so.
Look, if I had to do my predictions, I haven't looked at the remaining schedule.
No.
I have looked at rosters. If I had to pick a 5th and 6th, it's a tough one. But I've got GB and yourself. I've got Paddy Boy getting in and yourself. Now, Pat comes down to his management. Well, it all comes down to that at the end of the day. But because Brofke I reckon he should be sitting at 10.
Well, that win last week was big for him.
Yeah.
To get that win against the old boy. Those mid 300 point scores when you pull out a win with them. Well, if you can come out of the week 1-1 with one of them scores, it's magic.
Right. And the old boy's going to be probably kicking himself because he's going to look back on and go, yeah, a couple wins here and there.
Yep.
Would have definitely solidified a top spot. But again, anything can happen with those 5. Like Robbie could come out and just kill it the next 2 weeks and get 4-0, which puts him to 12 right there.
Yeah, he could.
Same with Davo.
Anyone could.
Same with the old boy. But the thing that hurts the old boy,
he's still a game behind.
He's a game behind,
and now his points are a bit behind, and
he has to be a game in front. Exactly right. That's what I was going to touch on. So, he could still go 6 and 2.
I don't know how bad his points actually are. To be honest, I haven't.
They're not that great. I don't think.
I know we were close heading into last week. He needs to win, though.
It's like the old when you get down to like the NRL and that when you go by points. He's got to be ahead of you. He's got to be 1 game ahead.
So he's, 150 points behind Robbie. Over 200 points behind Pat.
You guys are higher than that, I think.
He's about 170 behind me now. He's only about 40 odd points behind Davo.
Yeah.
So.
Regardless.
And also, Paddy's got 9 wins, man, not 8.
Oh, that's right. He does too. Yeah. So Paddy is a game in front. That's why I said. I reckon. Yeah. Paddy boy. That means he could have 11. So Paddy probably could have almost solidified a top spot if he managed better.
Oh, he'd be close. All he needed to do was start Khalil Mack one week.
Yeah.
106 points that he scored.
And Jeffrey Simmons a couple of weeks. But I don't know what's going on there.
It's hard. Defensive tackles are hard to pick, man. You either roll with the punches and take the zeros when they come, or try and pick your matchups. That's what I've been trying to do. Generally, if anyone's playing any defensive tackles playing against Washington or someone like that give up a lot of sacks, I'll generally throw them in just in the...
And we talked about matchups. Well, this was with the old fella, with Trevor Lawrence, because they versed obviously the 49ers this week. Now, if you're ever going to sit him for a week, I don't think it mattered, though, because he lost by 40, I think Lawrence had 2 points, Howell had 41. I
haven't looked at the points that the Niners defense has been giving up, but they haven't been good against the pass this year.
They did get Chase Young, and they look real good.
Yeah, Chase looked like he made a bit of a difference.
The two Ohio State boys, Bossa and Chase, are looking real tough.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, well, they both basically got him for a half-season rental. So
Fred Warner and Fred Warner's having a season.
Greenlaw is injured. And he's struggling a bit.
Well, the weirdest thing is, fantasy-wise, last year Greenlaw was outscoring
Warner hasn't scored well in fantasy since his rookie season.
But he's killing it now.
This season he's just come out of nowhere, and I don't know. I don't know if it's across all platforms or whether something in this league's like bumping it up or not. I'm not sure.
And stuff.
Yeah, I haven't looked at that, so I don't know. I don't know if it's across all leagues. He does seem like he's got a lot higher tackle numbers this year, so yeah.
And unfortunately, I'll talk about them. The Dolphins, they've only got 2 wins, and they're out of contention for the Titan Bowl. Sorry to burst your bubble there, Rain Man. I think you're no chance, even if you win out.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I can't see... Yeah, no. 10 wins is his absolute cap. And I can't see all those other teams not at least cracking 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
But,
or two of the other teams at least cracking 10. So.
It's going to be interesting to see where it does play out. I mean, if you and Pat get in, there is no team that's a standout. Besides, I wouldn't want to.
It doesn't matter who gets in there, man.
Exactly right. Yeah.
On any given week, it's a brutal matchup. Whoever you're up against, it's been a really, really tough league this year. So.
Yeah, it's good. And that rounds out the top 6 contender segment I had going. But yeah, 4 weeks left, boys. So you got to get your wins.
8 wins, 8 possible wins left.
Top 2 teams in each division, or top team in each
division.
Top team
in each division goes through, has a bye.
That's big. That's massive.
It gives them a week to get the players healthy for the next week.
Yeah, that's it.
If only they weren't playing.
And you get a win, so you're on to the next stage.
And you don't have to worry about that week trying to get a win to keep going.
Yeah. And then there's a second and third team playing. If they lose, they get a second chance. Is that right?
No.
No, that's not. If you lose, you're out.
You're out. Can't lose. Playoffs, you can't lose.
Brutal.
It's just like 1 and 2 the next.
Man, that top spot is
that 1 and 2 the next. Well, 1 and 2 the next week. If they lose, then they they're out too. So
yeah.
Yep.
What was that? The ringtone?
No, it was a message. The it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be.
It is gonna be tough.
I'd say within. So over the next 2 weeks, I think we'll get a bit more of an idea where we're going to be at.
Yeah, I agree. Give it a couple of weeks, but yeah, can't stress enough how important the win is, and the 2 is real nice. Yeah. If you get 2, that's awesome.
For sure.
Speaking of the Titanic Bowl, now there has been talk on the chat around the rules and stuff, and we touched on it earlier. Rules around the clown suit. Now, I personally think it's just the worst team as the regular season. I think that's changed over the times, but it makes sense. If you finish with the worst record, you're the clown. Now, if you turn out to win the Titanic Bowl with the clown suit, that's even better. I know you're against the clown suit.
I just don't want to wear it.
Well, mate, I think you're safe for at least a year.
Yeah, I should be right now. Heading it before last weekend.
Yeah, your team has come good.
I was nervous as hell.
It was backsliding pretty bad.
And you know what? For the most part, I couldn't even work out why.
Yeah.
There's not much that I was doing different. I made a couple of trades and stuff that may or may not have worked. I was dumbfounded, man. It was ice cold. I couldn't do a fucking thing for pretty much 4 weeks of football.
But you've had the valley at the
I hope I've hit the valley, and hopefully we're going the other way now. So
exactly. So that's an important peak, and like we said with Spiro, I mean, he's probably thinking, you know what, that's probably good. Now,
he could have pretty much dropped 3 weeks worth of football, and it's not going to make a difference.
The boys come up. Yeah, you don't want him to be dropping the first round of playoffs, especially when it's knockout.
No. Yeah, I was actually something I was going to go over.
Yep.
Just sort of a bit of an outlook over the first round rookie draft this year.
Oh yeah, right.
Just thoughts on.
I mean, there's two big ones. The obvious ones is Marvin Harrison Jr.'s.
No. Sorry. From this like a mid-season type deal. For
so we're talking real NFL.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Like Bryce Young.
Yep.
What do you think so far?
Look, it's kind of honestly, I think he's probably done less than what he expected. I wasn't that hot on him just because of his size.
Yep.
And we know like the Kyler Murray situation. Yeah, he can do a bit, but he's actually not like those top elite guys that we talked about.
I was going to say he's not Kyler Murray.
No, he's not Kyler Murray at all because he hasn't scrambled.
No, he hasn't got that.
He's tried to be a pocket presence and he doesn't have it. So I think he's going to get better. I wouldn't write him off yet, but I don't think... I know Old Boy likes him, and he's got him on his team, and he puts him in that top-tier category, but I just don't think he's a top-tier quarterback. I think he's going to end up...
I haven't seen that out of him this season.
What's his ceiling? Like Phillip Rivers or something?
It's not there, I don't think.
Yeah.
He seems small. His arm seems a little bit off.
He's pretty light, yeah.
Where he was really good in college as a distributor, quick processor, he hasn't been that in the NFL. He's hanging on to the ball.
Agree.
And he's making a lot of bad throws. The Bears could easily have picked him off 3 or 4 times the other day.
Yeah.
And as a Bears fan, I'm quite happy to see Bryce Young struggle his ass off and the Panthers sitting on 1 win.
Mate, yeah. I'd have to. Yeah, I just don't think he's got that start. I mean, he could come good. Who knows? Yeah. But I just don't think it's there. And like you said, I mean, Adam Thielen's helped him a lot this year, and he's a veteran receiver. He's probably going to retire next year.
How much has Thielen got left in the league?
He's done. Yeah. So what do they got? Mingo and
Mingo's been bad.
Not much else.
Yeah.
So
that I haven't heard. Oh, actually, I think Mingo had one of his better games a couple of weeks ago.
He's starting to get a bit more targets, but again, they don't throw that much. Their game plan, I don't know. I just don't think he's going to excel, but could be wrong. CJ Stroud, on the other hand.
Stroud, been amazing. I think landed in a good situation, I think. D'Amico Ryans is a very smart coach, and he's come out of a system in San Francisco where he's been exposed to Shanahan and how they can do stuff, how they can make offensive game plans so much easier for young quarterbacks. So
yeah. Look, I'm so happy I got Stroud on the taxi, and I've hummed and hawed for weeks.
No one saw this coming though.
No, definitely not. No. I thought about pulling him up, but
I remember sitting there looking at PFF talking about Stroud coming through the draft process, and they didn't like him at all.
Yeah.
They thought he struggled processing the game.
Well, he's definitely he hasn't struggled at all on that. He's gone through his reads and everything, and if you watch the tape on him, He looks so smooth throwing the ball, like moving around the pocket. He doesn't panic at all. Like he is top level already.
Yep.
And fantasy wise, I mean, they're just letting him throw. So.
And you wouldn't say he's got the most amazing of targets right now.
No, who's he got? Noah Brown and
Noah Brown's
Tank Dell.
Noah Brown's looked all right in patches in Dallas.
Yeah, but
previously,
there's nothing special
but nothing
there.
special.
Get him a star receiver.
Tank Dell. I don't know, man. Tank Dell was like he was getting hyped up a bit in the pre-draft, but he didn't have the fastest 40 time, which we all know is brutally overrated.
Mm.
And he was very small school wide receiver. But he looks like a pretty good pro. Then you got Nico Collins has been good for him.
He has been good.
Yep. I never thought he was number one. I thought he could be a good 2 or 3.
You know who's been real good for him? Well, the one that's dropped off is Damian Pierce.
He's had a terrible season.
Yeah. But you know who's been real good for him? Is Dalton Schultz.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Mate, he's helped. And it always, like for a rookie QB, tight end's always the fallback, and he's been killing it.
Yep.
I just think they've got, like you said, I think it comes down to D'Amico Ryans, mate. He's letting Stroud actually throw the ball and game manage. And
I'm a big fan of the ex-player coaches. They've been there. They know what they're doing.
Look what Pierce.
They don't all work out that way.
He's doing.
Yeah, Antonio Pierce.
That's 2 straight wins.
Have a look at Jack Del Rio. Oh, not Jack Del Rio.
Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell.
Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, Vrabel, who I was thinking of.
I agree with you. And they're kind of players, coaches, which is,
It's funny how they're a lot of the like linebacker, tight end, former players, not the superstar wide receivers, quarterbacks, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Will Anderson's been pretty good for the.
He's starting to come good because I was actually looking. He was the guy I was looking at. I was like, wonder what his production's been like. But if you look at Soul production, probably not the greatest. But if you look at tape on the field, he's been real good.
Yeah. He's had a pretty decent start to his career.
Yeah. Brian Branch is another one that I actually really like as a player. He's been injured, but when he's there, he's good.
On and off, probably Anthony Richardson. You can't really can't bag him, man. He looked fucking good when he was out there.
He looked like a Newton.
For a guy that
Newton all over.
They wanted to say wasn't ready to play in the NFL.
Yeah.
He was ready.
And I reckon, well, look at how many points Cam Newton got when he was like that. He does exactly what he did.
Yep.
Will Levis, for me, I'd actually like to see him play out the season.
Yeah, he played well that first week. He wasn't great last week.
He wasn't. They were up against a good defense.
Yeah. Yep.
What
are we looking at? I'm just scooting down the first round here.
Yeah.
Devin Witherspoon he looks good.
He does look good.
I don't think there's much you can say there. Coming in, he was a physical corner. Pretty match up against anyone, and
I think it's the old rookie rule. Yeah, like they're throwing, and he's not afraid to tackle. No. He can make plays, so he's going to be good.
You know, he's probably been the biggest bust. Tyree Wilson.
Well, I got it. He's my other guy. Taxi.
He's been atrocious.
I know. I don't know if he's getting game time
though. I watched something last night. They went over the snaps that he's had, and he's had some pretty decent snaps.
See, Max Crosby...
Sitting across from Max Crosby.
Yeah, he never comes out, though. Eh? He's like the one DE in the game that never comes out.
Yeah, I know. So, I should have drafted him. I looked at him.
I got him in a couple of leagues.
Tyree Wilson has been terrible.
I think I'll give him the rest of the year.
I don't know if he was ready for the NFL this year.
Yeah, because he's pretty highly touted.
I think he needs to fill his body out a bit.
Yeah, we'll see how he goes. That's an interesting one because he's the one sitting on my taxi. So I think give him the rest of the year and see how he goes.
Yeah, I think this is pretty. It probably should have been a redshirt year for him, but
yeah.
And I know he was injured coming in with the foot problem, whatever it was.
Who would you say has been the best receiver for you for rookie? Zay Flowers.
Not JSN.
No, but he's shined a little bit when he's played.
No, Jordan Addison.
Jordan Addison?
Yeah.
I was going to say Jordan Addison's pretty tough.
Yeah, no, I'd say Jordan Addison. He's been pretty good all season.
Yeah.
for start off with, it probably looked like it was more a result of playing the other side of Jefferson. But since Jefferson's been out, he's stayed productive. Bijan's probably been a little disappointing.
I'd say he has been disappointing.
I think
that's not his fault.
I think someone else might have something to do with that.
Yeah.
And it might be someone else that's not there next season to.
How's about Gibbs? Mate, Gibbs has come in.
Gibbs has played well the last
real good
few weeks.
Yep. They got a nice 1-2 punch.
And now Monty's back. It'll be interesting to see how they do that. Actually,
I reckon it'll be that 1-2 punch because I saw Montgomery. Like he's your generic.
75-yard touchdown run the other day.
He had a 78-yard touchdown.
Did you see he threw the block for him to get there?
No.
Jameson Williams. It's about the only thing he does in a game is throw a block because he's nothing as a wide receiver.
Got nothing,
He's been terrible.
God, he's been a bit of a bust.
Yep. No, he's done nothing.
Jalen
Carter. Probably as good as
he was
as they thought in the pre-draft.
Oh, I traded him to Robbie, and I wouldn't have traded him if I put him on my taxi. See, he's been scoring straight away, so he's going to be tough.
You know, Davo had a plan at one point. He thought, well, if he could get back to the top of the waiver order list, he was going to drop Anthony Richardson to pick him back up and put him on his taxi.
Oh yeah.
But
there's no way
he's not going to get there because
Jared
ain't going to win 6 games.
Yeah, that won't happen.
It's not going to happen.
No.
I'm not going to talk about linemen.
No.
Lucas Van Ness has been solid on limited snaps. Will McDonald hasn't had a lot of snaps. Oh, actually, this is another one for bust. Emmanuel Forbes.
Yeah, has he even played?
They should make his middle name Toast. Because
it's getting burnt.
I can't remember the numbers, but I think it was against Philly.
Is he scoring in fantasy then? Because he
can't tackle either. Against Philly, he gave up something like 9 catches for nearly 200 yards. And
how's he still playing?
He's not. He's benched.
Been benched. I thought he has.
Yeah. Christian Gonzalez was going really well before he got hurt.
Yeah, that was a shame.
Is he done?
I think he is. I don't think they're going to rush him back anytime soon because we're contending for that clown suit, mate. It's unfortunate.
Everyone's after Caleb Williams.
You know, I would definitely take him because right now, Mac Jones and Zappy, no good. But
so you're out on Mac?
I'm out on Mac. He's had his chance, eh? You can't knock that he hasn't had his chance. Yep. He's definitely had a chance, and he hasn't done anything with it. I mean, there's no one really helping him, but it's one of those ones where it's tough being a Patriots fan this year because we should have won 4 games.
Yep.
And we've been right there against the top teams and should have won.
Up until the last 5 minutes of the game. Last few weeks have been a bit ordinary, haven't they?
Well, we should have won probably last week.
Last week, was it?
We were going in, and we was on the minute 30 to go, and Mac Jones threw a pick, which was one of the worst throws.
Who was that against?
It was the Colts, wasn't it?
Yeah, I see. That's why I didn't see that game at all.
Yeah.
That was the game over in Frankfurt or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
that's why.
Germany game.
I haven't seen the highlights because there probably wasn't many.
Oh, well, there was only about 30 seconds highlights.
10-6. Jack Campbell's been pretty average.
Yeah.
I think
again.
Busty area.
Yeah, playing time, probably not enough.
Kalijah Cansey, I don't think he's done a lot, but I don't think he's had much playing time.
Yeah.
JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Man, he's been all right.
He's been all right.
When he plays, he doesn't get the targets though.
He went to a really bad situation.
Yeah, and you know what? Gino's been
terrible up until last week. He had a good game last week.
I think JSN did it right last week as well.
Gino. So did Lockett.
Yeah, Lockett had a good game.
He had nothing up until I started. I think I said something about.
Did you bench him?
No. I played him.
You gave him a PD special.
I said, geez, I wouldn't mind a Lockett bomb here. And literally.
Well, mate, that's on you.
About 3 or 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Passes straight to Lockett.
That's on you.
And he got a TD on the drive.
You should have started your whinging well earlier in the season.
Well, I haven't. The old boy reckons I've been whinging, and I said I haven't said much at all. Oh, I don't know. Quentin Johnston.
Yeah.
I don't like him.
I don't think he's actually going to be that great either. No. He has had playing time, and he's just can't.
He's got all the physical tools. but
I wouldn't go as far to say he's like a Chase Claypool.
No.
But I don't think he's going to be like what they want him to be.
The difference is Chase Claypool seems to have the ability to completely shut down a team that he's playing for.
Yeah. Well, the Chargers, man, they've got to be the toughest fan base because they lose every game by less than 7.
I'd hate to be supporting him.
Yeah.
And Zay Flowers,
he's been good.
Jordan
he's actually
Addison's
been real good. And Jordan Addison has been good too.
Banks. Banks.
CBs.
I don't know.
What do you do, man?
He hasn't been Witherspoon, but Dalton Kincaid's come on well over the last month and a half.
Yeah, no, he's been real good. Dalton Kincaid and who else you got? Musgrave, Musgrave and Laporta.
Yeah,
all 3 tight ends been good.
It looked like a really good tight end class, and it has been a really good tight end class. So.
Right, mate, we might round it out there. But before you do, who's your pick in the real NFL? Who you liking? Top 2 teams.
Oh, to win the league.
AFC, top 2.
God, Jesus.
I'd have to go to Chiefs. I'm going to throw them in there.
I don't know, man.
I'm actually going to throw the Ravens in
there. The defense is playing... Well, the Chiefs' defense is what's winning them games at the moment.
Yep. And that's what I mean.
Mahomes does enough to get them a win at the end.
I'm sure that he's going to come good. Otherwise, if the guys can stay healthy, I'm going Dolphins as a wild card. Dolphins, Ravens.
Well, I don't know if I can pick a top team.
Yep.
I do think the Browns are good enough to be very, very, very hard to beat in the playoffs if they can get there. Depends on what happened to Watson. If Watson's injured, man, they can't get there with PJ Walker. He's terrible.
Yep.
But yeah, Baltimore's probably next up. I actually think they're nearly the two of the best.
Yeah, they're tough
in the AFC. NFC.
Mate, NFC's pretty straightforward for me. If you're not going,
it's pretty much the 49ers and Eagles, just about, isn't it?
I agree with you. 49ers, Eagles, and I actually am going to, if you had to pick the Super Bowl winner, you'd have to go
the Lions are up there, but...
Actually, I will say the Lions...
The Lions have laid an egg in a couple of big games.
Yeah, they've just got to have that big game ability, but obviously, you can't knock their record. They got the close to the top record.
7-3 or something.
Are they?
I think, without looking at anything, I'm...
But no, I agree. It'll be 49ers.
49ers, Eagles. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if it was the same NFC Championship game again.
49ers are tough.
I think it goes the other way, though, this time.
49ers?
The 49ers, last year, they had nothing. They didn't have a quarterback left upright for the championship game. It wasn't even a contest.
Yeah.
The AFC looks really tough though. There's plenty of chances in that. I think the Chiefs get rolled this year.
Yeah, I hope they do, man. Just for the sheer fact they've been there so long. It's like probably how fans felt about the Patriots. Like I'm sick of seeing them.
Now you're seeing it from the other side.
Oh mate, get someone else in there. I wouldn't mind the Ravens. Got time for them.
Yep.
Have to listen to the two Raven owners in our league though.
Could you imagine?
Shout out to Ranks and Joey.
Could you imagine if the Browns got to the Super Bowl, all the carry on with Watson?
It'd be wild.
Because I look on Twitter pretty much every day, and the amount of stuff on there about Watson on a daily basis, and how much the Browns gave up to get him, and the contract that he's got, and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
if they manage to get to a Super Bowl, it'd be pretty nuts, man.
Yeah, righto. Well, thanks for having me on, big fella.
Yeah, no, all good, man. Good to have you.
Yeah, absolutely. We will definitely have to do a combined one before the end of the season.
Yeah. Well, there's no reason why we can't. So.
Yep. Righto, big fella.
All good, man. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
All good, mate.
See you later, boys.
See you,